Hello everyone. How was the first lecture? Through lecture Rose, we were in faith, isn't it? So now I'm going to invite second lecturer. He came from Thailand. Lecturer B.
Hello everyone, my name is T. I'm overseas volunteer from Thailand, and today I'm my lecturer, and today my topic is happiness. So firstly, I want to ask you some question. What is happiness in your life? Please think about it. Sometimes some people will think about food or money or have a big house or have friend is a Bill Gates. But please think about it. What is happiness in your life? Firstly, I have one experiment. So please watch the video first.
What causes drug addiction? To find out, researchers in the 70s investigated rats in empty cages with normal and drug water. Because all their rats chose the drug water, became addicted, and died of malnutrition, they concluded that drugs are uncontrollable and that a global war on drugs was necessary. But another scientist thought it was obvious that lonely rats in boring cages would choose drugs over water. So he put them in a lush cage called Rat Park with friends and everything a rat could want. His rats chose not to use drugs. He even used addicted rats from the lonely cages, who gradually reduced to become drug-free at that time. That's like many humans who get strong drugs in hospitals and just stop when they go home to a loving family. While alone and unhappy, street users turn into desperate addicts. These experiments show that chemical addiction is not the only thing that matters in drug abuse. That a person's access to a lush cave is even more important than making drugs unavailable and criminalizing its users.
As you see the video, right? In 1970, psychologist Alexander, he had an experiment and he tests the mouse and he put the mouse in the container alone, just only one mouse. And next, he put two types of water. First is pure water and second is drug water. So do you think which water the mouse is will take? So the mouse take drop water to the end. After mouse take drop water, it will always die because it cannot defeat the stress. So to the end, the mouse want to have something for defeat the stress and it take the drop water. So after that, the researcher he tastes again and he make like a theme park and he put many different colored balls inside and he put many rats inside. So at that time, he also put two types of water. First is pure water. Second is drop water. So after first study, just only one mouse alone it take the drop water. But this study is so amazing when put many mouse inside Mouse didn't take the drug water. So after that, we can see about the power of connection of the mouse. So as we see, if the mouse is alone inside, it will find something to defeat the stress, and that time the mouse will take the drug water. So, but in another research, so we can see when put many mouse inside through the following of the heart of the mouse and it's rolled together, at that time the mouse is can have happy and it's unnecessary to take the drug water. So that's only that we can see through this research. So this situation is happened in human life also. One day in the period of Vietnam War. So that time many American soldiers in there. And 20% of American soldiers had used drugs because of stress. So at that time, because of the situation in the Vietnam War, many soldiers they try to find something to defeat the stress. So to the end, they use drugs. Why you can imagine about that situation in that time? So why they have to use drugs? Because of every day they listen the gun sounds or the bomb sounds or see the friend die or even they don't know when they will die. So at that time, the soldier cannot defeat the fear and cannot defeat the stress. So they find something to solve the stress. To the end, they use the drug. At that time, people they were worried about this situation because many American soldiers they use the drug around 20%. Can you imagine around more than 10,000 soldiers is drug addiction. So if they came back to their country, it will have many bad situations happen, right? For example, it's crime, it's stealing because of the drug. So that time in people, American hurt, they very worried about American soldier. But the result is totally different as people think. 90% can stop the drugs and become normal. So at that time, we can see through the following heart with their families and with their friends. So after that, the American soldier can stop the drug because through the power of flowing and sharing their heart together with their family. So the true happiness that comes from the flowing heart, when your heart flowing with others, that will have happiness. So as I show you two stories about the mouse, when it stay alone in a container and don't have any friend, don't have any family, it have two type of water. So at that time the mouse cannot defeat the stress. To the end, it have to use drug. But in another research, they bring many mouse inside together. At that time, the result is totally different. The mouse didn't use the drug. So we can see through this situation, through the power of flowing heart together of the mouse can ignore to take the drug and it will become happy. In human, it's same. We can see about American soldier in Vietnam War. At that time, they were very stressed because in the war it have many stress situation. They don't know when they will die or they don't know about what happened tomorrow. Every day listen the gun voice or listen the bomb sounds and see the friend die every day. So at that time, American soldiers, they were very stressed and they find something to defeat the stress. To the end, they use drugs. But at that time, when after they back to their country, 90% of American soldiers can stop the drug and become normal. Because of what? Through the power of flowing heart with others and through the power of connection with their family and with their friends. So through these things, it can make them quit the drugs. So this situation is can make us to know about the power of flowing heart and power of connection. It's very important in our life and it can make us to have the true happiness in our life. Next, do you know what is this? This is look like a weapon. It's very dangerous. So this is called durian. Durian, some country is called the king of fruit. So durian, I want to tell you, smell is really bad, but the taste is very, very nice. So let's watch the videos first. What about the smelling of durian? Okay, as you see this video right about the smelling of durian, this all of them is first time to taste the durian. So at that time they know about the smelling of durian is too bad, but the taste of durian is very nice. So in the durian name, it have the name is called smelling is hell, but tasting is heaven. So this is like our life. In our life, we have two kinds of these things. When we see other people, why this person is too bad, why this person do many mistakes in his life, or why this person is always changed, why their behavior is not good, why they like to talk something to break people's heart. So, if in our life, the flow in our life is like the smelling of durian. But if we just only focus the smelling of durian, in our heart it will become sick and it will coarse. And at that time, if you not taste the taste of durian, you cannot feel the real taste, the good taste of durian. In our life is same. If you don't talk with people, if you close your heart, you don't trace the other people taste. So at that time, your life is cannot find the true happiness in your life. So when you want to overcome the difficulties and taste the favor of others, you can feel the true happiness. As I told you, durian have very strong smell. Smelling is very bad. One time I read one news in college in Australia. At that time, many people inside the library, but they have to escape from the library. Around 550 people in just only 6 minutes have to escape from there because they think it have gas leak inside. But when the police or the researcher came, at that time, because of durian smelling, it made the big problem happen. So, as I told you, this is the smelling of durian. It's like our taste. It's like our flow. Our flow is like the smelling of durian. But inside, if you just focus only the smelling of durian, you cannot know about the taste of durian. So in our life is same as I told you. If you close your heart, don't want to try the taste of others, just smelling, you cannot find what inside the people have, and you cannot flow your heart together with others. At that time, your heart become closed, and you cannot find the true happiness in your life. Sharing our heart is very easy. What you think, what you're feeling, what you have inside your heart, just speak it out. When you feel uncomfortable, you speak it out. When you have thankful heart, you speak it out to others. Yes, even it's easy. But if you close your heart and don't speak it out, what inside your heart, to the end, you cannot find what is happiness. So, in our life, family have many relationships. Some family have relationships like enemy. You have to say sorry first. Some family have relationship like a parent never heard the word love from their child. So today I want to talk about my story. This is P life. This is P kids. So in my life, my parents they have own business. I born in middle class family. So my parents always busy, and at that time I feel like my parents didn't have time for me, and I condemn to my parents why they didn't take care of me well, and I compare to other families why I lack of warmth and why my parents don't care me. So at that time, I think my family is have many problems. My father is a drunkard. Sometimes he cannot control his emotion. My mom like to complain so much. Every movement I just listen complain from my mom. Or my older brother, he always went outside and we don't know where he went to. So and in my life, in my school, my parents never went to parent conference, and in our house we rarely have meals together. At that time, I feel a lack of warmth, and why my life is not same others families. Why I lack of many things, and I condemn to my parents in every time. At that time, I have war in my heart. I don't want to talk with others, and I kept everything inside my heart, and I do everything like by my own abilities. I don't like to share about my heart to others. At that time, I close my heart and I feel just only condemned to my parents. I never told about my life, what I use. I never told about what inside my heart to my parents. So at that time, I really closed my heart and I never know about what inside my parent heart or my parent is never know about what inside my heart. So when I use this kind of life, I like to find something to make me happy without flowing my heart with my family. But I find something to make my life is happy. I find some desire from mobile phone, from gambling, from food, from sleeping, from everything as I want. When I use this kind of life, as you know, desire is don't have limit. When I don't have break in my heart and I never share about my heart, I just live by my own life. Sometimes when I in my university, I just lie to my parents. I want to use money for studying, but truly I use for my desire. At that time, but I still feel like my parents didn't take care of me well and I condemn to my parents. So at that time, I find to have the happiness in my life. But one day, my life is changed through IVF, International Youth Fellowship of non-profit organization. So after I met IVF, and at the first time, I don't know about what is IVF, but IVF is an organization for help the youth to have the happiness in their life. So at that time, I feel like what is IVF and I want to know. When they explain and advertise to me, I feel pay attention. And first time I joined with IVF Thailand. In IVF Thailand, firstly, really I just want to study language because I think if I have a good ability of language, it can make my life happy. But truly, through IVF, they suggest to be overseas volunteer from to other country. At that time, after I listen many testimony before their life is so totally scary. But through GNC life, through IVF, their life is began to change. So after I decided my heart to be overseas volunteer in Kenya, first time when I came to Kenya, really very difficult food, culture, or weather. About food, Kenyan people have like the word, like to say, Okali give power for us. But when I taste that the first time, Hakuna power, no power. But uh, at first time, when I went to Penniless Deep Journey in Kenya, when I went to toilet, I very shocking. It didn't have anything inside, just have one hole in the toilet, and didn't have water and didn't have anything, just only soil and the one hole. At that time, I think this toilet is repair or make a new one, and I open the next toilet. It's same. At that time, I can know this is the toilet in some place in Kenya. At that time, I feel very shocked about Kenya and I feel very difficult. But through many situations in Kenya, it can give many experience in my life, like in the view of IVF, change, challenge, and cohesion. So through change and through challenge in my life, I can challenge and I can receive a new heart, and my heart is stronger than before. So especially through the power of connection, through cohesion in Kenya, I saw many people, many GNC, many Kenyan, many people in my life. At the first time, as I told you, I very close my mind and I don't like to talk with people. But through all of them in Kenya, it can make my heart open more through people, through the guidance from church, through the guidance of IYF, through the guidance of pastor, through the guidance of friend. Some work, uh, my pastor give me to be MC or to be my lecturer. In my heart, very difficult. I don't like to talk with people. I don't like to share about my heart. But through IYF, really, it can make my heart to open and share my heart to others. At that time, I can receive the view of IYF, change, challenge, and cohesion. My life is totally different before, and I can open my heart more than before, and I can share about my heart to others, and I can receive the heart from others. Yes, even my heart, it don't have any good things, it just only complain, difficulties, and uh, misunderstand, don't have any good things. But through the flowing with others, I can receive a new heart from others. So at that time, my life is began to change. So after through this situation, and my heart is strong. And one day I call to my family. I'm very shy really to say about my heart to my family because in my life I don't like to share and I don't like to open my heart to them. But one day my teacher told me to open my heart to families. At that time I feel very shy and I don't know what I say. I just say thank you, love, like this. But just only the short word, it can make me know about the power of flowing heart. At that time, I can know the heart of my parent. Before I feel like my parent very far from me and they never share or I never share to them. But through GNC Life in Kenya, I can receive a new heart and I can learn the new heart from others and learn to follow my heart and learn to share my heart. So through this, I can search about the true happiness. It can form sharing my heart and following my heart. Happiness is near me more than I think. Before I like to find from the desired things, but through real happiness.